What he gonna do? You know what white people do.
They tell you
They
quit.
pressure charges,
Yeah,
man.
quit.
I ain't got time for all that, gang. I got a son at home. I ain't got time to be crashing out for this man.
Right.
And he gonna laugh at this shit. He gonna get punched and still posted, and he gonna still be doing what he doing.
Right.
And they still gonna be on the internet saying Rooga crashed out.
Right.
That shit it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Then I asked him fairly, shit, do you want to fight? He said, no. So if I tell you no, I don't want to fight.
You don't supposed to fight.
I'm not finna fight you, bro. I'm not. You don't want to fight.
Right.
That's me bullying at that point.
Right. Was this your first issue with Adam? Or you had an issue with him before? Was this the first time you had an issue with him the way you was like?
No, I already had an issue with him that last time I came on there.
Right.
The first time was that situation where he brought up the shit where I told him I didn't want to talk about.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And I told him I wanted to see the interview before he dropped it or whatever. And he just dropped it.
Like, fuck what you got to say. And a lot of times he do that. I think, Adam, if you're watching this, fuck you. I mean, I'm for real, though, because, like, he type of nigga is going to do anything for the content, right? But, you know, they let the GDs in the door, right? But I'm going to ask you a question. When the first time, this is some real shit, when the first time you realized, like, damn, I'm really GD. It's really going down. Like, this really real. Like, I mean, I know we sometimes, like, we GD, but when that moment we like, damn, this shit real.
When I came out the womb.
Come on, gang. Nah, not when you came out the womb. No,
baby
no,
picture, like.
no. I know you was GD, but when the first time you realized, like, damn, this shit real.
Nah, like real shit though. Like on some real shit. When I came up younger, you feel we all grew up off of, you got family. Majority of my family was GDs, so I was around nothing but GDs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that shit was in me growing up.
Right.
But I officially, you know what I'm saying? That shit came upon around when I. Got started. When you start smelling yourself around 13, 14, that's when you really like, you know what I'm saying? Jump off the porch and you outside more. That's when it really came upon, though, probably about 2000 and I want to say 7, 8.
Right. What was that moment? What was going on when that moment hit you? Like, damn, this shit real. I'm GD for sure.
You know what's crazy though? Back then it wasn't even like the world make it some GD like. Even in Chicago, like GD, BD, all the gangs, it's not a gang thing no more, for real, though. It's like it's sets now. You see what I'm saying? They got sets. A nigga died from a nigga hood, they named the hood after him. Right. That's what it really is. You know what I'm saying? But back then, it was just everybody having fun. We was all fighting back then and shit.
Right.
Wasn't no shooting and shit.
Right.
You catch a nigga, you whoop him. There wasn't even no internet like that back then.
Right.
And that's what fella realized. All you new internet generation ass kids, y'all got it good. Cause we grew up without internet.
Right.
You know how hard life was without internet?
How hard was it without internet?
First of all, we had to get out there and touch the ground.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's easier to find out who with who rocking with who now. Back then, you had to physically go over there on a block to figure out who was hanging with these niggas and who was who, or you had to physically see these people.
So you gonna just whoop on the block if you get over there, if it's on that street,
9 times out of 10, we all went to school together when we was younger, so we damn near everybody know each other, but it wasn't like where you could get on the internet and see 10 people in a picture and be like, oh, he with them niggas now?
Right.
We on his ass too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Versus back then, you wouldn't even know a nigga over there hanging with them because it wasn't no internet. We had to literally do shit outside, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Speaking of that, right? So who, or can you remember, or can you say the first person you ever lost when you ever realized, like, damn, we can die for this now?
My cousin, Scrap.
And what happened with that situation? And what was you feeling?
He died in I was like 08.
Right.
2008. But I won't lie, he was living that life, you feel me? Like, but I realized it hit home, you feel me? That's my cousin. First family member I lost to gun violence. Right. So that shit hit home. That was deep, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I realized life can be taken from you. Not even just him, just growing up, you know what I'm saying? Seeing people die. That ain't the first time, I always hear about the shit in the hood. So-and-so died. So-and-so died. So it was always around them. So you understand it.
Right. And what was your mindset at that time? Was you like, damn, I'm ready to die for this shit? Did you think like that? Like, I'm ready to die for this shit too? Did that ever come across your mind?
When he died, when my cousin died?
Yeah. Just anytime doing this
honestly, when he died, I was a shorty. If I was 08, I was 13, 14 years old. we was from different hoods though. You feel me?
Right.
He was from 63rd and Rockwell over there.
Right.
So it was a whole different. I wasn't even back. You know, back then we had no cars to move around like that. I didn't even know my way around Chicago around that age
Right.
like that. To even get over there to go do some shit. You feel me? So
Right.
it's more so. It was more so me just being a shorty still. So
Right.
I was just still soaking it all up.
Right, right. Well, being in Chicago, I know a lot of times that a lot of street niggas come close to losing their life. What's
Yeah.
the closest you ever came to losing your life in the streets? Or have you ever came close to losing your life?
Hell yeah, plenty times.
Tell me about it. What happened?
Close now. One time, I ain't gonna lie. One time, me and my homie, not my homie, me and my brother, we walking up the street. We going to my homie crib.
Right.
Folks always answer the door. This
Right.
particular day, you know what it was? His mama was in there too.
Right.
I guess, you know, we was kind of hanging out over there a little bit too much.
Right.
So this particular day, they weren't answering the door. They guess they was tired of motherfuckers coming over.
Right.
You know, when the don't answer their door and you see they car outside,
Right.
they don't feel like being bothered.
Right.
So we walk off the porch. We finna walk up the street towards the other block. Car pull up like this on the corner. That just stopped. He just looking straight like this. Then the nigga look at us, raise that boy. After letting that bitch ride, you hear me? Talking about that was the man. He let that bitch go.
Let it go all at you.
But luckily, it was a little gangway right there. I
Right.
dipped right in the gangway. Soon as like the second, third shot went off,
You
I'm
was
through
gone.
the gangway already. But they also could have went around and caught him coming through the gangway too.
Right.
I was really thinking about all that as I'm analyzing running through the gangway. But that was like the closest, bro, because they was just so close, bro.
Right. So what was you thinking at that moment? Like, you think like, damn, was it a lesson you learned? Like anything you learned like from that moment to where it never happened again, or did it happen again? You got blicked down
Honestly,
again like that?
It was more so like a wake up call. It could happen to you.
Right.
Hell yeah, keep it on you. Real out here. Yeah, it's going on. You feel me?
Right.
So don't get me wrong, I already knew what was going on, but you know, that shit definitely woke me up.
Right.
You know, I got close to death.
Right.
I think that'll wake any up.
Right. Well, this bottom line question I think I want to know. Who do you believe is the most influential drill rapper in Chicago history? Like the most influential? Without, not you. Just
Chief Keef,
why you say that? Why come on? Chief Keef can't even rap.
as of now, I don't be hearing shit, but I ain't gonna lie. He made a big impact on Chicago when he